welcome to Newfoundland and Labrador Studies 2205. This is Unit 3, The Country Grows. I'm Miss Fleming, your instructor for this course, and this is Section 2, Lesson 1, on Diversifying the Economy. So, we already know that European settlement was first driven by the saltfish industry. By the beginning of the 20th century, several issues had arisen that limited the ability for the industry to remain the primary industry for Newfoundland and Labrador. And the government of the day attempted to diversify the economy to curb these issues. So first, let's talk about those changes in the fishery that led to diversification. The resident population of Newfoundland and Labrador grew exponentially during the 19th century, all seeking success with the fishery. But this created two problems. First was that the harvest rate per person declined as limited fish were available. This meant people earned less. And the decrease in the cod biomass, meaning the rate of cod reproduction decreased, and with the continued overfishing severely taxed cod stocks. So there was a need to diversify. With the over-reliance on the fishery, many Newfoundlanders and Labradorians did not have everything they needed to survive. While people did undertake subsistence activities, items such as flour, tea, molasses, rum, tobacco, bulk salt, and medicines all needed to be imported. And with the value of many of these imports, their cost was often greater than the value of the fish exports. This led to what was called the policy of progress. Sir William Whiteway became Premier in 1878 on a policy of progress. There was a determined push to create employment through other primary resource industries, especially forestry and mining. The government began looking for other economic opportunities and surveyed the land on the island during the latter half of the 19th century. These surveys determined the existence of agricultural, forest, and mineral resources. Whiteway felt that building a railway was an important first step into opening up the interior and developing these industries. This image here underneath Sir William is of the Codroy Valley, and it was taken when they did a survey to determine the viability of an asbestos mine in the area. We know that now, of course, that is a problematic substance, but at the time, asbestos was in high demand. This led to what was called a golden age. The first years of the 20th century, up until the First World War, were considered a golden age for the colony. The recession of the late 19th century had ended, and the value of fish and other primary resources had increased. The forestry and mining industries were growing at this time. Sir Robert Bond, who's Premier and then referred to as Prime Minister, challenged fishing rights with the French and Americans also finalizing the Entente Cordiale. So the entire period was of great economic growth and great success for the colony. The railway, forestry, and mining industries strengthened the economy, and Bond also tried to develop a free trade agreement with the United States, but unfortunately it was blocked by Canadian and British interests. Problems with international affairs led to Bond's retirement from politics. The Prime Minister after Bond was Edward Morris, who's on this slide. From 1909 until the outbreak of World War I in 1914, there was great resource and railway development. This last image here you may recognize if you've traveled to the West Coast or if you are from there, and this is in the Humber Valley. The Trans-Canada Highway now goes through this area, and there was a time when you could see the rail bed to the right as you were traveling west, but since the highway expanded maybe about a decade ago, the rail bed is no longer seen. But you can see that image of the mountains right there. Okay, so now it's time to review. I'm going to ask you now to please complete the activities below in Brightspace, and I hope you have a great day.